Well, hello and welcome. I'm Misheard with Misheard Song Lyrics Podcast. We're in Season 6, Episode 299. We're almost hitting the big 300. And we are doing our second ELO misheard lyric. The misheard song lyric is, Medieval Woman. And then the correct lyrics is, Evil Woman. It really sounds like he's singing about a medieval woman, even though it's evil, okay? The last time we did a ELO or Electric Light Orchestra misheard song lyric was way back on October 26, 2022. God, it feels like it was just yesterday. It was in Season 4, Episode 165, and it was the song Don't Bring Me Down. It sounds like they're singing, Don't Bring Me Down, Bruce! And really the correct lyrics then was, Don't Bring Me Down, Bruce, which is a made-up word. So that's the last time we did it, which was 2 seasons ago, and we got a second one, Medieval Woman. So let's talk about the song. Evil Woman is a song recorded by ELO and written by lead vocalist Jeff Lynne. It was first released on the band's 5th album, 1975's Face the Music. Wow, 1975. Were you born then, some of you that are listening? Or actually an adult? I was a mere 3 years old, but I was born. He has written all the band's music since 1972, including such hits as Evil Woman, the one we're talking about today, Living Thing, Telephone Line, oh, I love that song, Mr. Blue Sky, Don't Bring Me Down, the one I talked about from Season 4, and then Hold On Tight. So very prolific songwriter, singer. He also had a solo career, very successful, 2 albums, Armchair Theater back in 1990 and Long Wave 2012. And Jeff Lynne was actually born in Birmingham, and he became interested in music during his youth and was heavily inspired by the Beatles. He began his music career in 1963 as a member of the Handicaps, then left the group the next year to join the Chads. So if you know anything about those groups, share with me, let me know. From 1966 to 1970, he was a founding member and principal songwriter of the Idol race. The guy's in a lot of bands. Then in 1970, he accepted Roy Wood's offer to join The Move and was a major contributor to the band's last 2 albums. So he just keeps moving up in the world. Then later that year, Jeff Lynne, Wood, and Bev Bevan formed the band, ELO, that we know today, as a side project to which they intended to devote most of their energies out of their same desire to create modern rock and pop songs with classical overtones. And thank God they did, because we love ELO's sound. Following Wood's departure from ELO in 1972, Lynne assumed sole leadership of the band and wrote and arranged and produced virtually all of its subsequent records. As I said, prolific songwriter. And then during the 1970s and 80s, ELO released a string of top 10 albums and singles, including the band's most commercially successful album, 1977's Out of the Blue. And if you have it, it's a double album, and I would love to see or hear if you do have it. So 2 ELO albums reached the top of the British charts, the disco-inspired Discovery from 1979 and the science fiction-themed concept album Time, 1981. And then in 1986, so 5 years later, Lynne disbanded the group after losing interest in it. All in all, Lynne produced all 15 ELO singles that rose to the top 10 record charts in the UK. And then after ELO's original disbandment in 1986, he began producing for various artists because he is a talented guy. What I did not know, and I just found out just doing this misheard song lyric, is in 1988, under the pseudonyms of Otis Wilbury and Clayton Wilbury, Lynne co-founded the supergroup the Traveling Wilburys. I did not know that, with George Harrison, Bob Dylan, Roy Orbison, and Tom Petty. Talk about a supergroup. He also produced the Beatles anthology reunion singles from John Lennon demos Free as a Bird, 1995, 1996, Real Love, and actually just recent one, 2023, Now and Then. And in 2014, Lynne reformed ELO and resumed concert touring under the name Jeff Lynne's ELO. So if you were lucky to see the pre-Jeff Lynne's ELO, and even now, I'm jealous, okay? Outside of ELO, Lynne's producing credits include the UK or US top 10 albums Cloud 9 by Harrison, 1987, Roy Orbison's 1989 Mystery Girl, Tom Petty's Full Moon Fever. I see a theme here. That's why he made the Traveling Wilburys, because he worked with all these guys in 1989. He also worked with Bryan Adams in 2015 on his Get Up album. And in 2014, he actually received a star on the Birmingham Walk of Stars and is awarded an actual Hollywood Walk of Fame star the following year. So both in Side of the Ponds, he was given a Walk of Fame of some sort. Mr. Lynne also received 3 Ivor Novello Awards, including the Award of Outstanding Services to British Music. And in 2017, Lynne was inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of ELO. And I talked about that in season 4, the last time he did a misheard song lyric. Personally, let's hear about his life, okay? Jeff Lynne was married to his first wife, Rosemary Adams, from 1972 to 1977, and then to a Sandy Capelson, with whom he has 2 daughters, in 1979. After divorcing Sandy Capelson, he then married a Camellia Cath in 2017. It sounds like they're still together. Despite his success, Lynne has spoken of his aversion to the stereotypical rock star lifestyle. He reflected on this at a 1970s Rolling Stone magazine. This is what Lynne said, quote unquote, "I was reluctant to become a real rock star. I was shy when I was always told to not get a big head. And my favorite thing in the world was to work 14 hours a day in the studio. Everything else was peripheral to me, like having the record out and promoting it. I did have a big house, but I didn't do rock star things. I never saw myself like that. I was a songwriter, singer, and producer. Rock stars are different. They dress all flashy and hang out in nightclubs. That just wasn't my priority. I like to spend my spare moments at the pub." I love it. Lynne was also appointed the Officer of the Order of the British Empire, an OBE, very distinguished award in England, and in 2020 birthday honors for services to his music. So that's what he got the OBE for his contributions to music to the British Order, okay, or Empire. Then I mentioned earlier that he was married several times and has 2 daughters. And the good thing about him is, you know, he's still, I know he's still alive, thank God, and still down to earth from what I can see going through the interweb. Let's get back to the song of Evil Woman, not Medieval Woman, of why he wrote the song. So Jeff Lynne wrote the song quickly, and when Face the Music was almost complete, he didn't think they had a good lead single. That's the album for this. So he said, "I wrote this in a matter of minutes. The rest of the album was done. I listened to it and thought, that's not a good single. So I sent the band out to a game of football and made up Evil Woman on the spot. The first 3 chords came right to me. It was the quickest thing I've ever done. We kept it slick and cool, kind of like an R&B song. It was kind of a posh one for me, with all the big piano solos and the string arrangement. It was inspired by a certain woman, but I can't say who. She appeared a few times in my songs." Lynne described the structure saying it was a repetitive chord sequence, and then the melody turns into a chorus. Interesting. Wonder who that inspiration is regarding this song and several other of his. When released as a single in late 1975, the song became the band's first worldwide hit and placed in the top 10 on both sides of the Atlantic in early 1976. It was then released again in 1978 on the ELO EP. That's a lot of E's in that. The lyric, "There's a hole in my head where the rain comes in the song is a tribute to the Beatles song, Fixing a Hole." I love it. And according to Song Facts, when I did a search on this song, it says, quote unquote, quote, "During the instrumental break in the song, when the synthesizer plays, right before the chorus starts up the second time, if you play it backwards, okay, you can actually hear the synthesizer sound that plays in another song by the ELO, which is called Night Rider." So check it out for those that can do the backwards. I didn't know that. So another big did you know. All right, so we learned that Evil Woman is not Medieval Woman, even though it sounds like he's singing it that way. It was made in just minutes. Like I said earlier in past misheard song lyric episodes, the ones that are like lightning in the bottle songs are ones that like, oh, I just threw it in 10 minutes, or we did it in one take. It's just the ones that like effortless. Same thing in life. I don't know if you all noticed, but in my lifetime when I wanted a certain job and it just took forever, it never happened. And then you get this job. It came out of nowhere, like it's happened to me not once, but twice, and hired within a week or so. And it was the best thing ever. So you can't force it. It just comes to you. And when it does, you got to listen to the universe and run with it. And then like this, ELO got a wonderful song and a hit. If you have any great suggestions like this misheard song lyric, please send it to any of our social media sites like Facebook, Instagram, or if you want to just send me something just old-fashioned like, send it to our email at misheard, that's MISSHEARD songs @gmail.com. Till then, keep saying the songs wrong. Bye.